There is something deeply powerful about watching kindness unfold on a screen. A stranger is fed, a struggling family is helped, a life is changed in moments that feel real, raw, and emotional. And in those moments, the world feels softer, almost healed. It feels like goodness still exists everywhere. But sometimes, what we see as goodness is not the full truth. Sometimes, it is only what we are allowed to see, and sometimes, it is carefully designed to be seen. This is the story of Amara Okoye, an influencer who the world believed was a living example of compassion. At first, she was just another voice online, a young woman with a calm presence, speaking about hope, survival, and kindness in a world that often felt too harsh. Her early videos were simple and unpolished, just a face, a voice, and a message. But there was something about her that made people stay. Something about the way she spoke made it feel like she understood pain, like she had lived through it and survived it. Then she began to show help. She posted videos of herself giving food to the poor, giving money to struggling families, and paying school fees for children. Every video followed a pattern, a moment of sadness, a confrontation with struggle, and then Amara stepping in as the solution. Tears would flow, hugs would happen, gratitude would be expressed, and the camera would capture every second of it. People watched and believed. They called her an angel. They called her a blessing. Some even said she was proof that good people still exist in the world. Donations started pouring in from strangers across the internet, not because they knew her personally, but because they believed in what she was doing. Every live session she hosted felt powerful. She would speak directly to her audience, encouraging them, motivating them, telling them that kindness still mattered and that small actions could change lives. Her influence grew rapidly. She was invited to events she never imagined attending. At gala nights, people would line up just to take pictures with her. She would enter a room and conversations would pause. Eyes would turn, smiles would follow. She was no longer just an influencer. She had become a symbol of generosity and inspiration. She was invited to speak at youth programs where she stood before crowds of young people and told them to believe in themselves, to help others, to be the change they wanted to see. She appeared on podcasts where hosts praised their work and asked her how she managed to stay so consistent in doing good. And she answered every question with the same calm smile, as if her purpose in life was clear and unquestionable. But not everything that grows in the light is rooted in truth. Behind the camera, Amara was a different person. She was not loud, not emotional, not the version the world saw. Behind the scenes, she was aware of something very important. Attention was powerful, and attention brought money. Donations kept increasing as her fame grew. Her platform expanded, her influence widened, and she learned how to control what people believed they were seeing. Every helping moment was carefully arranged. Every scene was prepared before the camera started recording. The people, the timing, the emotions, everything had structure. When the camera turned on, the story began. When it turned off, the story ended. And what the audience never saw was what happened after. Amara would often sit quietly, reviewing her growth, watching her numbers increase, and celebrating the success of her online presence. The world believed she was changing lives, but in reality, she was also building a personal gain from every moment of perceived kindness. Not everyone around her was blind to this. A friend, a man named Dele, began to notice small things that didn't sit right. At first, he ignored them, but over time, the inconsistencies became harder to overlook. The same types of stories kept appearing, the same emotional patterns repeated. The timing of events felt too perfect, too structured, too relaxed. One day, he finally confronted her. He asked her directly if what she was doing was truly about helping people or it was becoming something else entirely. Amara simply smiled at him and said she was helping them. But the smile did not answer his question. And Dele began to watch more closely. At the same time, another mind was working in silence. A journalist named Tunde had also begun noticing irregularities in a content. He was not emotionally attached to a story. He was observing patterns like a puzzle. Certain details did not align. Some beneficiaries appeared once and never again. Some stories lacked continuity. Some emotional moments felt identical across different videos. He started collecting evidence, screenshots, video clips, notes, comparisons. In his room, a wall slowly transformed into a web of connections. Papers were pinned up, lines were drawn, and red threads connected one piece of information to another, forming a growing picture of something hidden beneath the surface. The investigation became consuming. Eventually, Dele could no longer ignore what he had found in his own observations. He reached out to Tunde, and what they shared confirmed what they both feared. The inconsistencies were not random, they were structured. In gathering enough proof, Dele placed an envelope in Tunde's hands. Inside were documents, records, and a drive containing additional evidence. It was everything needed to challenge the image the world had believed in. Soon after, the story could no longer stay hidden. News began to spread. Amara Okoye, the woman celebrated as an angel of kindness, was not what she appeared to be. The acts of charity that moved millions were in many cases staged. The emotional scenes were designed. The impact was exaggerated, and the donations in some instances were not used as the audience believed. The revelation spread quickly across the internet, and the reaction was immediate. The same people who once defended her turned against her. Comments filled with admiration were replaced with anger. Followers who once supported her began to live in silence or express disappointment openly. Brands distanced themselves. Invitations stopped. And online presence, once powerful and growing, began to collapse. Chinyere, who once had looked up to her for strength during his own struggles, felt deeply betrayed. The person he believed was a source of encouragement and hope had turned out to be part of a constructed image. The realization left him conflicted, not just about her, but about everything he had believed in. Amara's world, built on attention and perception, began to fall apart in public view. And yet, in the silence that followed, something unfamiliar began to happen. Without cameras watching her, without audiences reacting to her, without the constant pressure of performance, she was left alone with reality. And for the first time, she began to give without recording it. No audience, no announcements, no attention, just quiet actions that no one clapped for. But even silence cannot erase what has already been revealed. One day, standing alone in an open space, she reflected on everything she had become and everything she had lost. And she understood something she had ignored for a long time. The wealth built on deception does not bring peace because when truth finally arrives, it does not ask for permission. It simply reveals everything, and no amount of fame can protect a person from that moment. Some masks are worn to hide who we are, but the most dangerous masks are the ones that convince the world we are something good. A virtuous mask. Please do wait to subscribe for more interesting and intriguing stories. Thank you for watching.